Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Show and Tell What the Hell, and we are bringing it back old school, and we're going to talk about some stuff that was very near and dear to me, and this is kind of like I would say a hidden treasure box episode, because I went to a storage I have in my backyard, stuff that got transferred or brought over to my mom, and that particular storage actually doesn't have a door. And there was just a bunch of junk in there, really, like bicycle parts and just old cabinets, shit like that. And then there was a box of stuff that was unprotected, and lo and behold, I find this box with a bunch of cards, a bunch of my old collector cards, and these things were my life. So now I will say that half of them were destroyed, completely destroyed. The rest of them I turned into a nice little montage, which I may just like not a montage, but a collage that I'm going to put at the studio. I'll show you. I might show you all that later on, just because they were so damaged, but you could still do shit with them, and all these cards were just. This is what's left. I still have two big binders, one of which I'll show you because I found that binder. Some of these had been receiving damage for 20 years, but a lot of them are like 30 years old, or not 30, maybe about 25 or 27 years. And I bought this here. I haven't bought one of these in a while, to put my the cards in. And we're going to go through a few of these. And I'm just going to tell you all my experiences with these cards. I did do another card episode before, but that was with a brand new pack that I opened. But this is from the Lost Treasure, the chest, which is a bunch of garbage. And we're going to go through some of these and talk about the cards. Now, back before the internet, now some of these are still not in the best condition. I have no idea what I'm going to do with all these fucking Spawn cards. But the majority of these, because I did save a lot of the other ones are in pretty decent condition that are in my binders, are the series 2 and 1. One of these days I'm just going to get the whole complete collection. And some of these I'm going to keep in the box, and some of these I'm going to put over here because and put them with my other collection, my other binders. The story behind all these is here's a Captain America and U.S. Agent card. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, this is series 3. This would kind of give you a little biography. Should I see? It looks like Ron Lim drew this. This looks like Ron Lim art, 1992. So this is series 3. I guess 1990 was the first series. And then this would tell you about the first encounter. This is before the internet. This is your guide to a lot of events and characters. Aside from some of the annuals or some of the special yearly books that had who's who in the Marvel universe. Omnibus and all that. Now this, this is 95. This is way after this. This is a Wolverine versus Sabretooth card. Who was the artist on this? Glenn Fabry. I used to see some of his stuff like in Heavy Metal, I think. But very interesting way of painting. Reminded me a little bit of Simon Bisley, Martin Emmond. So I'm going to put that. I'm not going to put them in a particular order. I'm just going to like bust them out, see which ones I want to put in there. Oh, this is weird. This, I don't know why this is in this box. This is what happened. Basically, this big box of cards that I had were all in binders at one point, and some were in card boxes. My two scallywag brothers decided, probably around 1999 or 2000, around the time where I went to college, start going through all my cards, because I had a lot of like nudie cards in there too from like Heavy Metal, and they went through them and they just like made a big mess out of them. And then I guess my mom put them in a big box, and then they gave them to me, and I got so pissed off that all my cards were out of order and some were damaged that I just put them away somewhere, and I moved over to this house, forgetting and thinking that storage would last, and I forgot about those cards. And so that's the story with that shit. But anyway, so yeah, this is a a Grayson Creed card from the Overpower line, from the Power Surge expansion set. I remember me and my friend Esky would play Overpower in high school. And I think we're like one of like maybe a good 10 people. These were also 1995. So we were probably like what, sophomores or something like that in high school. Sauron versus Wolverine from the Hildebrandt. This is the Flair Ultra, but this looks very Hildebrandt. I love Sauron. He's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, Greg and Tim Hildebrandt. I'm very familiar with their style. Just there's a very particular, I don't know. It's slightly cartoony, but there's something about the Hildebrandt style that's just very stylistic. There's something that's just very sticks out, and I'd like to see if I can get myself like an art book that they did. I did have a whole line of Marvel cards from the Hildebrandts at one point, but going back to this was a very common card, the Vision and Scarlet Witch, which we're still waiting for that show. First encounter was Avengers 75, April 1970. I'm actually going to show off this card side just so I can take a picture of it again, because this is so nice, so you get a good clear look at the Hildebrandt artwork. Isn't that nice? This is from a heavy metal card series. Of course, heavy metal was one of the few. 1996. I could buy heavy metal magazines and not, not get in too much trouble, even though there's a lot of like nudity and violence in the heavy metal. Depending on where you went, sometimes a comic book store would sell you those if you're underage. Another good heavy metal card here. This looks like a Julie Strain. Or Julie Bell, sorry, not Julie Bell, wife of Boris Vallejo, and she was really good at doing chrome. She always did a bunch of chrome stuff. Very interesting painter. I was always thinking, ooh, I can't show this on this one. That's a Druna card. Oh yes, another one of my favorites here, Sauron. Yes. And who did this one? It's not Hildebrandt. This is a Lou Harrison. Not too familiar with Lou Harrison's work, but very nice nonetheless. Ah, yes. This is your Marvel Series 2 1991 chart, and this is something that shows you what durability is, how you gauge that. If you look at I'm going to try to find a Marvel card, and this is like your clear set official definitions on what they mean by durability, or like say intelligence. So a 1 below normal, above average, gifted, genius, super genius. So we got a lot of 6s. Let's say like Tony Stark would probably be a 5 or 6. Reed Richards would probably be a 6. Omniscient, you get more space cosmic deities were omniscient. Same thing, indestructible, like the Hulk, 7 indestructible, superhuman, bulletproof, enhanced human, above average, normal, and below normal, easily injured. We're going to put this back as a guide when we get into some Marvel. These, to me, this was like the official way to like say, hey, this is what this character is all about. Impel. A Spawn image. This is like a foil, not a hologram, but a foil card. Sorry, I'm looking at my hands are real dirty. I've been painting, working on a bunch of custom projects. This one, I want to say this was not part of the official Spawn line, but it says top. So I just think this may have come from a Wizard magazine or another comic magazine that I was collecting at the time. Same thing with this, a reboot card here. Always liked 25 chase cards. This is 1995. I always liked some of the characters on this. I thought it was an interesting show for kids. Alien vs. Predator series. I didn't get too many of these, but happy I did. They're tops that put them out. Doctor Strange. This is a Doctor Strange. Looks like a was it Sam Keith that did this? The guy who did the Max. Real nice illustration, Doctor Strange. It doesn't really show the artist who did this particular illustration on these cards. I noticed that. Series 2 was my favorite, of course. We're going to go into, let's see, another Flair Ultra. I didn't know too much about Penance. This is about the time where I was kind of getting out and getting really picky with my comic book reading, because she was a Gen X character. But it was still a very nice looking card either way. Got a bunch of Series 3 here, and we're running at about 10 minutes, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'm going to go through a few of these. But damn, there is, like, you know what? Yeah. John Romita Jr. had some amazing artwork. I always liked his stuff. Just had a particular style. I wish he did a whole animated cartoon. There's some really good ones here, like this one. The Watcher. The Watcher. Uatu. Like I said, I dare not intrude. I am forbidden to act. Pussy. This is interesting because I can't even tell you what this is. A Skybox card. This is 1993. I think Skybox is after was it Impel? Had the first three lines. I want to say the first. Let's see. Was it Impel that did the first? Yeah, Impel did the first 3 lines, and Skybox takes over. A lot of people knew who Skybox were in the baseball card collecting world. So I didn't get a lot of these. I think if there's anything I would like to go back and collect, it would be the 1993 series of the Marvel cards, because there were some pretty good. There was like cards that you could put into like a whole page, and they'd form one big picture. Here is some Wizard exclusive cards that I kept in these cases that really did protect them after 30 years or so. Fairchild and Purgatory. Look how they glimmer. Even though I'm not a big fan of J. Scott Campbell's artwork, it's just something about it that just really, I don't know. Can't really draw anatomy too well. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that just really turns me off. Possibly because I also submitted for that Nintendo Power Art Contest, and he's the one that won, so how dare he. Here we go. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Grim Reaper, Marvel 1991. Probably my favorite series of all of them. And let's go back to our little guide, because we're going to talk about where he is on his he's all the way at 7 durability, indestructible, impossible to injure. Yep. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. See, and did you know? I loved these. Grim Reaper was the oldest brother of Simon Williams, also known as Wonder Man. So yeah, very cool character. I liked both looks. I did like, this is when he came back, I guess, from the dead. There's a group of undead characters. I forget what they're called. Fuck. But Grim Reaper at one time was leading them. Yeah, I wish they'd make this version in the Marvel Legends line. I'm going to put this. What I like about these card sets, if I had enough money, I would have them to where I can get all the stats, but I'm going to do what I used to do and just put this in the back. Let's see what else we could find here. Plenty of Series 3, a good Baron Zemo and Red Skull. This is also from that Series 4 line there. This was from a big picture. I think all the Series 4 were just giant maybe pictures of or giant were, you'd fill the whole fucking thing like a big collage of pictures. Series 3, real common Series 3s, but I like the group ones, like the West Coast Avengers here. '90s Avengers. Hey, look, I got my '90s Iron Man toy right here. Yeah, very cool. I need a new U.S. Agent toy. I'm actually excited about the Winter Soldier show. Another Series 3, another Heavy Metal. Yeah. Who did this one? Luis Arroyo. Luis Arroyo was awesome at drawing babes, or illustrating babes. Here is a Series 1. This one's a little messed up here. Look at the damage that it took, but I still needed to keep this in my collection. And then replace it, and eventually. But this is a Thor versus Surtur. Famous battles cards. I love the. This is probably when I was about 5th grade when this came out. Yeah, the border around these. These are. It shows. It tells you the whole story. Tells you what issues. Has separate little illustrations. I like Series 1. Very awesome. With the way they executed it, no one had ever seen anything like this before. But by the time you get to Series 2, 91 series, you could tell that they just took that idea. They gave more space to the art and less of the border, and they give you a lot more information and stats and So the Dark Phoenix here. Let's take a look at her power. Now this is a part 1. We're going to do maybe several parts of this. And show you some other things that I got with regard to Marvel card collecting, or just cards in general. That's how powerful the Phoenix is. Like if you could take that 7 as the highest, she's got the 7 speed, durability, stamina, intelligence. She's not that smart. Where's her intelligence? Above average. Is above average. Okay, yeah. But the strength is way up there. I thought the durability would have been a little bit higher. Almost impossible to injure because she was goddamn powerful. 1980 X-Men 134. Yes. Did you know the real Jean Grey is alive and well, and as Marvel Girl is a member of X Factor? So, yeah. And we're gonna go through a few more here. Keep that around. Let's see what I got. Ooh. Take out some of the more special ones here. I love the artwork on that one. And okay, I'm finding some cool ones. That one has nudity. Some interesting one here. Series 4. Another one of these. 1 Series 3, Series 2, 1 Series 1. Thor's Hammer. We're going to talk about that real quick. And we'll... Oh, I love that one. We'll just go to that one real quick here. Oh, yes. Okay. And that's the one we're going to end it on just because the picture looks nice. And then I'll get another stack later, and we'll talk about those. And we'll go through them together. These are the ones I'm definitely going to put in these cases here. So, Ultron. Very nice illustration of Ultron here from the Series 1. This one also did, I'm sorry, yeah, these did have the Did You Knows. Ultron is responsible for the creation of the android Avenger known as the Vision. Yes. Avenger, during an experimental artificial intelligence, the Avenger known as Henry Pym, not Tony Stark, accidentally created the evil robotic being known as Ultron. Intent on improving himself to the ultimate degree, Ultron reconstructed his body using an impervious adamantium alloy and then embarked on a crusade to destroy all organic life forms. If not for the Avengers, Ultron might have already succeeded in achieving his ghastly goal. All right, so there is our Ultron. Let's put this here. One of these days, I said that to me. He's like, what is it? I'm going to get the whole collection. I'm still saying that. Look at me. One of my big goals for maybe this year is getting all my comic books and replacing the bag and boards on those. And I will probably film a lot of that. A Series 2 card of Thor's Hammer. Yeah. And it shows you here, look, let's get the official information on Mjolnir. The length of it is 22.7 inches. The working face, 6.5 by 6.5. It's 42.3 pounds. I guess if you're carrying it and you were worthy of carrying it. Otherwise, you can't carry it, and it's like weighs infinity. Its composition is Asgardian Uru metal. Mystical nature makes further analysis impossible. How do you like that, folks? The Asgardian god Odin has conferred several enchantments on the hammer, including hammer user worthiness. Yep, it's programmed that way. Only one who is worthy can use a hammer. User is able to able to summon and use forces of nature in interdimensional travel and flight. Yes, I'd like to see some more of Thor going through dimensions in the movies, right? So here's a fun card. Here's a fun one from Series 1. Spider-Man. And these were a series where Spider-Man was, and this is from the Series 1 collection, where Spider-Man was interviewing certain comic book characters in a very Spider-Man-esque kind of way. Say, Doctor Strange, didn't you learn magic from the Ancient One? And Doctor Strange, that's right, I knew him when he was only 100. He turned to the back. Doc, can you pull a rabbit out of a hat? Hey, I'm good, but not that good. Spider-Man getting freaked out because, he's doing that out-of-body bullshit that Doctor Strange likes to do. So these were fun. There was a series of these. I like the Wolverine one. I think Wolverine threatened to murder him. Here is Darkhawk. From Series 3. One thing about Series 3 is that their power ratings were kind of hard to read sometimes. So I think they kind of dropped the ball on that. Again, you didn't get a did you know on these. But Darkhawk was relatively new around this time. It was 1991. It says that he first came out. This in the series was like 2 years old. Pretty cool character. I'd like to see your series on Dark. I hope he makes an appearance on Moon Knight. Fantastic Four versus the Skrulls. Very nice artwork right there. Actually, I'm going to go back and reread this because I love reading about Skrulls. Here's another special foil card. Lady Death. Y'all remember her? Yep. Had a bunch of these. Hey, I was a teenager with a very hyperactive imagination, and I still do like beautiful babes. So why the hell not? And on that note, we got Scott and Jean. This is from the 95 X-Men Fleer Ultra. Who did this one here? This is show you Luis Royo, who would draw naked babes on heavy metal. Good old wholesome Marvel hired him to do a bunch of beach pictures, beach party. Here is an interesting card, and I got this from another comic book. This was from the Natural Safe Kids campaign, exclusive Wolverine card. A little damaged at the bottom, but not a big deal because I like the artwork here. George, who did that? It doesn't even show you who did the. Anyway, the history of Savage Mutant Logan is shrouded in mystery. What is known as is that it in his identity as Wolverine, he uses his formidable combat skills, super accurate senses, and his razor-sharp, unbreakable adamantium claws to fight for justice. And Wolverine has a secret edge over the foes he fights, a mutant healing factor. Yeah, so 91, this is also, Impel put these out. So this is, I want to say these came slightly before the Series 2. Because you could find these in magazines. And I forgot what magazines they were in, or comic books. It came so that you would have to buy it, and you open up the plastic, and then you get this card. That was pretty interesting. I like how they just kind of stick out. I liked having these with my collection because it was just kind of like, it's still part of the same line. Impel put them out. I like the artwork on the Human Torch versus Submariner. Very nice. Very nice colors. A lot of information on here. So we are coming to a close soon. Original Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. Yeah, because they put original Ghost Rider on here. When not riding his flame motorcycle as Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze was a motorcycle stunt driver for a circus. Yes, that's more of a, we know Stan. Did you know he used to be in a circus? You know what? What does that look like? I don't know. I do like this card, though. Around that time, you had the second Ghost Rider coming out. Dan Ketch. And he wore black instead of blue. And he had a totally 90s cool. Here's the New Warriors, a team that I never was too fond of. Just kind of thought they were just like a bunch of dorky rejects. And I still do think they're a bunch of dorky rejects, but there was something about them. There was something that was a little bit charming about them. So every now and then I'd pick up some New Warriors, and I did like Firestar because of Spider-Man and his amazing friend. So Rage and Night Thrasher. Yep. Dr. Octopus's Arms. You could go and talk about this one forever. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. You can go into the stats of what Dr. Octopus's arms consisted of. Another Lady Death card. Ooh, man. Inferno. Yes, a very awesome story arc that occurred. Two different artists on this. Huh. I'm going to say that this looks a little bit more like Art Adams' artwork there, and this is something completely different. But yes, Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, had a very nice outfit. Iron Man versus Titanium Man. I love Titanium Man. This is the action figure I want to see. This is the movie I want to see. I'd love to see the giant Titanium Man with his funky glowing eyes there. I thought he should have been in the first movie. Not Obadiah Stane. And to finish it off, because we are at 25 minutes, and then we'll go into some more of these cards on a different one here. This is just an awesome picture. Two of the homeboys hanging out, Magneto and Dr. Doom. Oh, yeah, this is a good card. I had several of these. This is probably not the best condition one, but this is from Series 3. Perhaps two of the most powerful evil geniuses on the planet Earth. Well, I don't know if Magneto's a genius, but maybe in a certain way. Dr. Doom and Magneto are natural rivals, yes, each concerned with his own personal agenda of conquest. They have only teamed up on one occasion, and then only because Doom had used a hypnotic nerve gas to usurp Magneto's will. Should their power-mad schemes ever lead them to confront each other directly, it would surely be a battle to shake the world itself. And it would, because one thing about Dr. Doom and Magneto, they're two of the more interesting villains in comic book history, and they are often viewed. Stan Lee would also often refer to these two particular characters as not necessarily villains, especially in their own mind. They're not really in their minds, they're not villains. So anyway, so that's it. That's all we got for today. Sorry to make this so long. If you're interested in wanting to see more of the cards, I got to get all these in bags here. Then I will do that. Maybe I would love to do it on a live stream, but I got to have 1,000 subscribers. So if you're checking this out and you see that it's less than 1,000, why not subscribe? So I could do fun shit like that. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. You guys take care out there, all right? Be safe. Take care. And we'll see you later on.